produces 10 solar heaters for $7,500. The cost to produce 20 heaters is $13,900. Express the cost y as a linear function of the number of heaters x. So a linear function, I'm writing the equation of a line, but it's not like the ones we did yesterday where I gave you m and b. So what do we have to do? Okay, could we get some points from this, like order pairs? I know x is the number of heaters and y is the cost. So what would my first order pair be? And what's the second one? Okay. And we have already talked about writing equations of lines, so we can do this. So slope is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So I have my slope, then what do we do? Take my slope and one of my 2 points. We're going to plug into, did we do point slope formula usually here? Y minus y1. So y minus my y value, 7,500, equals m, 640, times x minus the x value, which is 10. Add over the 7,500. So y equals 640x plus 1,001. Right, so B, the cost to produce 25 heaters. What do we do? Number of heaters, that's the x, so my x is 25, so we can plug that into our equation. Looks like it less. 640 times 25.
Uh, 16,000.
17,001. And since that is the cost, I should put a dollar sign there. Any questions on that one? Alright. Let's take a look at this problem. A trapezoid has an area of 169 square inches. A height is 13 inches and one base is 19 inches. Find the length of the other base by first solving this formula for b sub 1. So the final thing that we're doing is just manipulating formulas to solve for a variable. Sometimes this type of question shows up on ACT. They might say, which of these formulas is equivalent to this one? And basically just checking if you have an equation that has variables, not just numbers, can you manipulate that equation? So I'm asking for basically two things. I want an equation for b sub 1, and then I want you to plug in all the information and find it. If I had to get b sub 1 by itself, let's just start. We have a 1/2. How could I get rid of the 1/2? Okay. I take both sides times 2. We have 2a equals h times b sub 1 plus b sub 2. I'm trying to get to the b sub 1. What will I have to do next?
Divide by h.
We have 2a over h plus b sub 1 plus b sub 2. Now we're trying to get b sub 1 by itself, so what should we do? So b sub 1 is 2a divided by h minus b sub 2. So everybody does that. Now we can use that formula with all the information we have. We knew that the area was 169, the height was 13, and my other base was 19. So now we're just going to plug this stuff into our formula. So 2 times 169 divided by 13 minus 19. Double checking if I think we get 7 inches. Is this one okay? Why don't you guys try each of these? I want you to solve for the specified variable so that you don't have any numbers plugged in, you're just getting that variable by itself. So what you do on A, there's really two different options.
Subtract 2w.
So if we do that, did anybody factor out the 2? Okay, that's what you did? Okay. So you would have p minus 2w equals 2l, and then what'd you do?
Divide that by 2.
So a couple ways you might have your answer written. You could leave it as p minus 2l divided by 2, or p minus 2w divided by 2. You might have said p over 2 minus w, so that's also equivalent. You could have got there the same way, and you probably got an answer like this. If you factored out the 2 first, then you divided it over and subtracted the w. So either of these is okay. They are equivalent. On B, what did you do?
Multiply by 9/5
reciprocal. So 9/5 C. Those drop, so equals F minus 32. You can just add over the 32. So F is 9/5 C, or you could write it as 9C divided by 5 plus 32. Any questions on those? Let's spiral back and hit some review problems. So we're going to do just a few of these, and then I'll be done for today. So take a second and see if you can set up this problem. Kind of going back to the very first type. I'm talking about a triangle. So it would probably be helpful to start out drawing a triangle. Right? So then we have some kind of triangle here. The perimeter is 32. How do you get perimeter? Add all the sides. So I know if I add all three sides, this would equal 32. One side of the triangle is twice as long as the shortest side. Do I know how long the shortest side is? So what do I call it? Okay, so the one that's twice as long would be, okay. The longest side, so I'm going to assume that's the other one here, is 4 centimeters more than the median.
So it's plus 4.
Right, the medium side was 2x. More than means we add 4. So if you did not draw a picture, then you have to tell me in words that x is the length of the shortest side. And define your variables that way. And you'd have to tell me the medium side is 2x and the longest side is 2x plus 4. So if you just jump straight to writing your equation, you would lose a lot of points there. And then we add these three together, and it equals 32. So we have like terms, so 2x plus x plus 2x, so we get 5x plus 4 equals 32. If we subtract the 4, divide by 5, so we get 28 over 5, or 5.6. Is that my answer? No, I want to know the longest side. The longest side was 2x plus 4. So 2 times 5.6 plus 4, 15.2.
Yeah.
So the longest side is 15.2 centimeters. Is that okay? Let's look at the next one. How many gallons of a pure alcohol should be mixed with 20 gallons of a 15% alcohol to obtain a mixture that is 25% alcohol? What should I do here? Make a table. So this was our mixture problems. What formula goes across the top?
Times concentration equals up here.
Alright, you have to have those labels, John Paul. So, we need to put labels on our rows as well, so you can call them first, second, total. You can call them the things you're mixing together. So we're mixing the pure with the 15% to get our total. You have a lot more freedom in what you call those things as long as you can tell the difference. So it starts out, how many gallons of the pure? So my amount would be X. If it is pure, what is the concentration? 100, so 1. If it was water, what's your concentration of water?
0. Hopefully.
Should be mixed with 20 gallons, so the amount of the 15 is 20 gallons. The concentration of that 15%, so 0.15. Then what would be the amount of my total?
X was 20.
So we add those together, and then the concentration of the total? So once we have those, we just multiply using the formula. So x times 1 is x. 20 times 0.15 is 3. And then 0.25 that's the x plus 20. And for the equation, what do we do?
3, x plus 3 is equal to 0.25, x plus 20.
So x plus 3 equals 0.25x plus 5. Subtract over my 0.25x. Subtract over my 3. You get 8/3. You guys double check my math, right? You don't just trust me that much.
Sure.
Answer the question in the sentence. So the question was, how many gallons of pure alcohol? So then that's be 8/3, or if you wanted, you could say like 2 2/3 gallons of the pure. Is that one okay? Last review problem of the day. A man bought 2 plots of land for a total of $120,000. When he sold the first plot, he made a profit of 15%. When he sold the second, he lost 10%. His total profit was $5,500. How much did he pay for each piece of land? What do we do? Okay. This is similar to an interest problem, so we can really use that interest formula to help us out. So we have the first, second, and total here. All right, he bought 2 plots of land for a total of $120,000. Where does that number go? Total what? Principal. Yes. Okay, with the first plot, he made a profit of 15%. So what would I do with that? That's the rate. Do I know how much we sold the first one for? So that would be X. Okay. The second one, he lost 10%. So what would I do? Negative 0.1 for the rate. What would I put for the principal here?
It's 120,000 minus X.
Yep, the total minus the amount we already spent. There's really no mention of time, and I told you anytime I don't mention the time, just do 1. The total profit was 5,500. Where would that go?
100.
Okay. So x times 0.15 times 1 is 0.15x. And we have a negative 0.1 times 120,000 minus x. So how do we write the equation?
0.15x plus negative 1, or just minus negative 0.1, 120,000 minus x. It's equal to 500.
Okay. Add my 12,000 to the other side. And divide by 0.25. So did you guys get 70,000? So the question was, how much did he pay for each plot of land? So 70,000 was the amount of the first. Okay, to get the second one, it was 120,000 minus x. So 120,000 minus 70,000.
50,000.
Alright. Questions at all? So your homework, finish that handout that you've been working on. So you can put it on the same sheet as last night's homework. We'll turn it all in tomorrow.